Out in the field here, what are some issues that you've seen or experienced that hinder neurodiverse working professionals in security and tech from showing their full potential to employers? Or conversely, what are some ways that hiring managers inadvertently filter out neurodiverse candidates for whatever reason?
Great questions. I'm glad that you asked those because I put a lot of thought into that recently. I mentioned that I worked for a managed service provider, a really fun one, a great environment, culturally hard to beat, but it was an open office. So you had a big open office and it's very like a warehouse environment. So it was echoey. It was incredibly hard, I think, for probably a third of us to focus in there.
We were in an open office until 2020. We were in an open office until 2020. And I would literally not start doing my work until 4 p.m. when the sales team left.
Yeah.
I couldn't eight conversations going on around me at all time. I just didn't know at the time why I couldn't focus, or I would just have my headphones on blasting like punk rock or whatever to blast them out. But yeah, no, it's open plan, man. I tell you, I don't know. When are we going to figure that one out?
Right. And you probably remember there was a big uptick in that open office where there was like, take down the cubicles. Let's be no job titles. Let's be open office and collaborative. I see the value in it for some of us, for some people. And it didn't work for me either. It didn't work for me. In fact, it created a lot of anxiety, frustration. I felt like I was failing at my job because I couldn't get things done. And I would start, into a project and then, it would take me off into 5 different micro topics and 5 micro projects and things would get left off the plate. Things weren't getting done. And that was a struggle for me because previously I felt, like I was a focused employee. I felt I wanted to do the right thing by my clients and my company, but details were getting missed. Things weren't getting done. If I started a project, it often didn't get finished. I'd had a lot of like unfinished projects and then frustration. And for me, with frustration comes depression, anxiety, and some other mental health struggles. A lot of us went home during COVID, which we didn't really do a ton of in the IT environment, the MSP environment, but I entered into a more flexible working environment where I could work from home some days, it could be kind of hybrid time. And I realized the problem wasn't really me. And there wasn't a problem at all, other than I just really had a harder time in that open office environment than in my home office. But then there are some of us too that crave, getting together with human beings.
Oh, completely.
So remote work kind of created its own challenges, and that will kind of lead me into talking about, what we're doing at Framework Security and interviewing process. We have some open roles right now. So we have open roles and we're interviewing. And I realized early in that interviewing process that Zoom virtual meetings, if you will, are tough on neurodiverse population because it's harder to connect with people. If you're already struggling to make eye contact, this really feels like you're on stage. You forget that you're having a conversation with a human being and you feel more like you're giving a presentation in front of a class. And when we're interviewing specifically for our cybersecurity analyst roles, our technical roles, we saw this come out a lot more in people that they're just very uncomfortable in this virtual meeting environment. So we what we started to do, which is, it's going to seem really silly, we would change our posture. We would sit back. We would ourselves become a lot more relaxed. We would offer to turn camera off. Do you want to turn camera off and just have a good conversation, get to know each other?
Yeah.
Those little things made a significant impact, even though they sound small, by saying, hey, let's forget this is an interview. Let's just have a discussion about you and your, what you've done, and get them excited just to talk about what they're proud of and say, hey, free reign, this is your interview. Let's just talk. What are you most proud of? What'd you do? What are you working on? What do you like to do when you're not working? And then again, just the posture change. If sitting back a little bit and maybe turning camera off made a big difference. And sometimes it was like, hey, you want to try to hack into something? Like, do you want to try to do something fun? Like
do a thing that you like to do. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Show us something fun. And, they talked about robotics competitions that they won. chess titles that they have,
Yeah.
different environments that they were able to penetrate, infrastructures that were hard, and social engineering triumphs that they had, boxes of donuts that got them, use their credentials. And it was cool then. When you took away the script and the pressure to perform, a lot of our candidates really opened up. And because of that, we hired, in my opinion, some of the coolest people to work with, that I wouldn't have known were really out there if I followed a very formalized structure. You hear out there in HR space, or, in sales, like sales leadership, if people break eye contact, that means they're lying, they're searching for it. Sometimes they're thinking, or they're nervous, but, not jumping to those conclusions, throwing out the script, having conversation with people and getting to know them has been great. And since we've hired those individuals, they've become a lot more open about just how they learn best, how they work best. We have a very flexible work environment. We check each other's work all the time. Yeah. Any engagement that we do in peer review all the time. So there's always 3 or 4 of us working on any given client. As an example, we have a virtual CISO program, so Chief Information Security Officer. We do it fractionally, but you don't just get that CISO. You get like 4 of us because we're all like wrapping our arms around each other.
Support team,
making sure there's ample coverage. Meeting the comprehensive needs of our clients. If one of us needs to take a day off, whether it be a vacation day, a mental health day, if they need to get out of work, get out of being buried in work, we all have each other's backs. I'm a little bit better verbally than over email myself in proposals, even though I do a lot of those things. So we check each other's work and like, hey, does this look good to you? Hey, I want your eyeballs on this. How would you scope this project? So we do a lot of collaborative work. We enjoy each other's company. Everything is flexible. Our working hours, as long as we're meeting the needs of our clients, and we're available when our clients want to meet, working hours, unlimited vacation time. If you work best by the beach, and that's not going to prevent you from doing a great job by our clients, go work at the beach. I travel a lot. My kids play competitive sports. So if I've got a soccer tournament to go to, sometimes I take calls, from the hotel room or from the seat of the car, from an airport lounge, however we work best. And then there's some of us who are like, I can't, that's too much noise for me. I can't do all that travel. I need my office, my chair, I need my light dimmed a certain way. Great. And then we try not to be disruptive to them.
Have you seen Work Bites, the new security awareness training series from Infosec? Our team produced this series with 3 E's in mind, making security awareness training entertaining, engaging, and educational. Just go to infosecinstitute.com/free to learn more about this hilarious office comedy. And hey, let us know what you think about it.